welcome back to another episode of Tech Pro Unicorn Podcast. I am your host, Michael Grace. Today, I am joined by Kim Dang. Kim is the daughter of poor immigrant parents that hung with the wrong crowd, drove them a little bit crazy. She also has a really cool theatrical curtain rise that happens behind her. That we saw before we started this recording. But the first company she launched was a dismantling company because she was good at breaking cars apart. She decided she was too smart for hard labor and started building an online business. She's the founder of Group Convert and creator of the G.O.L.D rule, that's G.O.L.D, of group sales method resulting in GroupLaunch Legends. She has since made over 2 million in online sales, helped others make millions, won several awards for her efforts, including the 2 Comma Club Award from ClickFunnels. So we'll talk a little bit about what that award is and why that's such a cool honor. Kim, thank you for taking the time and joining us here on the podcast.
Thank you, Michael. That was very smooth. Very smooth intro. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Just as Kim was joining, I was getting some water and Kim was getting settled, and literally this, like, the drapes behind her, like the curtain rose, and I was like, "Ah, Kim is here." It's awesome. It's very theatrical. It's very cool. So tell us just maybe a little bit about your journey. You're obviously doing well, have a lot to offer people and share with folks. But maybe share a little bit about how'd you get there? Because obviously that's not where you started.
Yeah, I started this journey by doing what everyone does, which is typing into the internet how to make money online. And I read a 5-page PDF on drop shipping. And that's what got me into trying to drop ship a bunch of stuff from China onto eBay. That journey led me into, this was in high school, it led me to figuring out, whoa, car parts sell really well on eBay. And so I looked into how can I have a lot of car parts, which made me communicate and talk to people with these who are like workers to these wrecking yards. Because I know I wouldn't be able to talk to the CEO. Talking to these workers, one worker was like, maybe I can do a wrecking yard with you. And in high school, I didn't think that that was too crazy because I thought about, because I've always been entrepreneurial, I'm like, oh, maybe I can figure this out. So, yeah, we got a warehouse in the desert, started from scratch, started out with 1 or 2 cars. The very first car that we took apart was actually in my dad's garage, and we had like a whole SWAT team descend on us because the neighbors thought that we were doing something super illegal because all the car parts were just spread out on the front yard. And then I actually had like people with full on guns and like a SWAT outfit like stop us, and I pulled out my pink slip for the car. I'm like, hey, I own this car, so it's okay. And after that, they like left us alone. But because of that, I started a wrecking yard company. I still have that to this day. And it was because one day I got a letter in the mail that says, you know what, the 2 warehouses that you have, Kim, we're going to just take one of those. And I found out how fragile a business is. Even though you have team members, even though there's profit, even though there's product, you're still very vulnerable. So that's when I went back to the drawing boards and I said, all right, I need a business where there's no inventory and I have unlimited inventory. It can be delivered right away. I don't have to deal with shipping, handling, all these, red tape. And then I saw that in the Facebook world, there are these communities that you can enter and you can convince them to click on these links so that you can earn something without any product. It's called affiliate marketing. And I said, okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get into affiliate marketing. And that led me into figuring out what is the best way, because obviously none of my friends clicked on my affiliate links and I was earning $0. I thought that if they're my friend, they would try to give me some kickback. But
That's awesome.
so I didn't succeed at affiliate marketing, but I created a Facebook group. And part of the Facebook group world, when people come in, you can ask them 3 questions, and you can
Hmm.
actually ask them, "What's your email address?" And I was collecting these email addresses to build my list, right? Because everyone's like, "You got to build an email list. You got to build a list." And I saw that maybe with the knowledge that I have and the technology, like my mind, the way that I think about problem solving, I wanted to have an automated way to collect this data. So I went online, I figured out, oh, I can hire a developer for pretty cheap on Upwork and get him to create a tool that will make this go faster for me, because that's what I was doing manually. That's when groupconvert.com was born, and it lets you automatically collect those emails, questions and answers, and location information from these Facebook groups. And I'm like, wait, I'm solving this problem for myself, but maybe other people might want this. So I launched it. Within a week, I was making 1,500. I was just charging people $7 a month, $10 a month. I was making 1,500 monthly reoccurring income in a week, and within like 2 weeks, it was over 3,000. And it just kept on growing because I Googled this. I'm like, how many Facebook group owners are there online? And there's a stat from 2010 that there's 610 million Facebook groups online. So
Wow.
that's when my mind was like, wait, I can have at least a million users, maybe, of the 610 million. And this will allow me to don't have to mess with inventory, have unlimited. It can be downloaded with one click. It was the solution that I was searching for. I just had to stumble around through different businesses to get there. And because of that, the next thing that I saw was, hey, these people are not just collecting emails from their Facebook group. They're really trying to build a tribe, build a following, figure out what I'm trying to
Right.
figure out. So because of that, and because I have the unfair advantage of behind the scenes from all these groups that are now our users, I figured out how to collapse time for them. I figured out how they can monetize from these Facebook groups that they have. So we have been helping our clients convert 3 to 5% of their audience, even if their audience is like 300 people in their Facebook group, uh, into a high ticket offer that's at least 3 to 5K starting off. So now my clients are doing anywhere from $50 to $100,000 a month in the first month that they work with us, pitching a 5K, 10K program where they're really helping their people at a premium level. And then because I have the software history and the software backbone, I teach them to go beyond that and have a monthly reoccurring income backbone to their education business. So they're bulletproofing their income in that way. And so I've started doing that. That has been going on for the past 2 years. And we have clients who've gone on to create nonprofits, done millions in their groups, and they don't have to. The cool thing about this whole journey, and I've actually brought them live in person with me too, because we have retreats. Our next one is going to be in Tulum, Mexico. I rented this 15-room mansion like right on the water. It's going to be
Wow.
amazing. But yeah, it led to this real movement where I'm solving these problems for all of these people, so they don't have to live their life pushing their passion to the side. I just before this podcast with you, I got off of a client interview with one of my clients, Greg. He said, yeah, in 1 month, I went from 0 members in my pop up group to about 300. We pitched our 10K offer, and we did $85,000. Half of that was cash collected, the other half coming next month. But he's like, it was in 1 month, Kim, and it was just jumping on 3 calls with your team, and that was it. And I'm like, yeah, like sounds kind of crazy, but that's how it is. And he's like, the biggest important thing is now I can write that book that I've always pushed down to the side. And like maybe next month I don't have to grind away so hard. I can go and take a vacation. So he
Hmm.
started thinking about all these other things that are secondary, because you got to figure out that one thing.
Hmm.
Now he's able to think about his life in that way. And he's like, the biggest thing you gave me was peace of mind. Now I have a vehicle, I have a blueprint that I can follow, and I can just do this again and again. And I know that I'll always have leads, I'll always have a one to many type of style. Because he booked like 63 calls in 5 days with my method, pitching into a Facebook group. And I've just discovered the solution that I feel should everyone should know if their goal is to have a following, and if their goal is to be able to live a life where they just, they can be anywhere in the world as long as they have a laptop and a camera, that uh, they can go and pursue what it is that they're passionate about, and people will pay premium to work with them. So
I
yeah.
love it. Yeah, I mean, like 10 years ago, right? The world of like online education, coaching, it just didn't exist. It wasn't a thing, right? I mean, it was kind of, you if you wanted to get better at something, you went to a bookstore and you picked up a self-help book and you read it cover to cover and were left confused, right? You were like, oh, that sounded great, but I don't know how to do that. The whole world of like online coaching and mentoring has really blown up in a great way, right? I always tell people, listen to a lot of people and then find somebody who resonates with you, who you're like, ooh, that I believe in that person, or I trust them, or their story sounds great and resonates with me. And then explore them more, right? And that person might be a great coach for you, might be able to help you with your business or online education. Um, and there's just so many choices out there now, whereas 10 years ago, there was none of that, right? Like your system wasn't around 10 years ago. It's amazing how fast the field is evolving. So the I mean, that was a great story about this. I mean, that's so timely, right? Like right before this call, just mere minutes ago, this is this person's story. Very cool. Is there another like story that you just love to highlight about a client success?
Oh yeah.
Somebody
Oh my gosh. So many
I
stories.
know.
We have so many. So I'll pick one. April Dodson, she came to us. She owns 4 businesses. So
Wow.
I'm talking to the entrepreneurs out there that like grind away. She
Yeah.
was plateauing at $25,000 a month for the past 7 years of her business, because she has a call center, she has a hood cleaning service, she has a software company, and she has a bar, like a physical bar where people drink alcohol.
Hmm.
And
That's
I don't know
quite
why I
diversity.
felt the
Yeah.
need to explain that, but I over explained, I think. But anyways, so she came to us. She's like, "Huh, Facebook groups, huh?" And she saw me live. I was on stage and I was speaking about the amazing, like you can profit big from these small groups. And she was like, you know what, I'm going to try it because I plateaued. And I don't know, I try so many ways. She always gets leads by cold calling out. And she has an email list, but it's not a one to many sell, virtually. So she came into our world. She had 0 people in her Facebook group when she started. It was 73 by the time she pitched, and she is a ready, fire, aim person. She'll like just go for it. So we told her to wait 3 weeks until she opens up the group and pitch into her group, but she's like, no, I'm just gonna go for it. And so 2 weeks in, she started, the group was still at 0 for when she started, and she invited 8 people, and we're like, no, you need to have at least a few hundred. And she's like, I'm just gonna go for it anyways. And her slides were done the day of, like she was just getting together her messaging. We did, so we hopped on a call with her right when she enrolled, and we told her exactly what to say, how to set it up, everything like that. She waited until 2 weeks later to like run for it.
Mm.
And by day 5, she had 73 people in her group. She pitched. Her program was a $77 a month package for the call center. What we did was we restructured it so it's $9,500 for a year long with some call center packages in there. And then she did $52,000 on a small group of just 73 people because about 5 people bought her program. And so what that showed to me was that it, and from that, she went and she bought a BMW, and she's the type of person that's like, I'm gonna treat myself. So she drove that off of the showroom floor. She recorded herself and she sent that video to me. She's like, Kim, with the $52,000, I'm buying a BMW, and
That's
I'm
so
like, oh my
awesome.
god. But yeah, I interviewed her 2 weeks ago, client interview, and she was like, she had tears in her eyes. She said, for the first time in 7 years, Kim, like, I am able to go beyond, this plateau, and I'm able to now see my $1 million a year, because she launched again and she did over $112,000 the second time she launched, without changing anything that she did the first time. She just did it again. And like, her story, it shows me so many things. Number one, you don't need to have a Facebook group to get started at all. You just have to click plus create Facebook group, so it could be zero to start.
Hmm.
As long as the messaging hits your people, which we work with you on scripting out exactly what you're supposed to say to your
Right.
audience, and it connects, you only need about 5 to maybe 10 people that will say yes to you on a higher ticket offer for you to really make more income in a month than most people make in a whole year, like grinding away, 8 hours a
Yeah.
day, 5 days a week. And yeah, she said that. And she's so busy too. She has 2 kids, a husband, 4 businesses. So she told me she did not have the time, but um she just went for it. So you don't even need to have so much time set aside to do
Hmm.
this correctly either. So she's one of my favorite stories, because she celebrates her win. She isn't like, oh, $52,000 was okay, but I wish I could have done 100. She's the type of client that comes in, doesn't have to watch a bunch of videos, a bunch of modules, takes a few things that we told her and then run with it. And that's the type of client that I am too. And it's you are the client you attract. You're all in all the way, and you take the golden nuggets and you're grateful, and then you just succeed massively. So, yeah,
One of the
go
things
ahead.
I love about what your two illustrations was the size of these groups, right? I mean, um, sometimes you start a Facebook group, like I remember my wife and I, separate from this, my wife and I have a YouTube channel that's monetized around RV lifestyle. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. It's wildlygraceful.com. Um, but I remember when we started that, and it was like, oh, our moms joined, and unlike you, my friends did actually join my YouTube channel. If we have, yes, and I was like going crazy, right? I was like, wait a minute, I have like over 5,000 LinkedIn contacts. I have over, I just have hundreds of friends on Facebook. And I was like, all I want you to do is come over and like subscribe to my YouTube channel. I don't even need you to watch stuff, right? At this point, I just remembered, like, I was like, oh my God, we got to get to 1,000 subscribers, got to get to 1,000, got to get to 1,000. And it was so hard, right? It was like, and you'd see like 3 people, 2 people, 10 people. You're watching these little numbers and you're like, I can't do anything. I don't have enough people, right? But you're talking about groups 70, 78 people, right? 300 people. That's not like, oh, I got to get to 5,000 people. Like, you're able to, through your system, through helping them through messaging, is what I took away from that. Through the right messaging and creating a connection, you guys are able to monetize at even small numbers of followers.
Yeah, and to get to those numbers, it takes 2 weeks. That's it.
Wow.
So 2 weeks of your lifetime to do something where you make more in a month than most people make in a year. It's wild, but it's true.
I love it. I love it. So I have just a question, right? Because people always, you know, as my podcast grows, which is awesome, and I appreciate all the listeners. Thank you all that are listening. But one of the I get to be on podcasts, much like in your chair, and share just some of the cool stuff that we do. People always go like, what's your ask, right? What are you monetizing? Do you help people like figure that out? Like if they're like, I want to do this, but I don't have a product, right? I don't have an online course. I don't have does your team help them like figure that
Yeah.
out?
We helped figure that out in the first call with you. It sounds insane, but that, like, Christopher Blakeman, he came to us. He's like, Kim, I have businesses. I sell businesses. I don't know. I've never been a coach before, but I want to try this Facebook group thing out, and I want to become a coach. I want to have a group coaching program that can scale. And I said, okay. So with his very first call with us, we figured out his program. We priced it at
Wow.
4K, and we figured out exactly what are the line items, what's the value stack, and then we told him exactly how to pitch it into his group. And within a month, he enrolled 11 clients in at 4,000. So he did
Wow.
$44,000, and he half of that was in the bank because he did split pay, and then he signed up 30 affiliate people because he taught. I'm like, well, teach what you know. You know how to run a business, so like teach how to run the type of business that you run, which is an embroidery business, which it comes from like old school hard
That's an art.
selling kind of way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he had 11 women who bought this $20,000 embroidery machine that's and then they want to turn their passion into profit. Now he's helping them, and from his money, from his cash flow, he was able to hire coaches for anywhere from $50 to $75 an hour to coach in his spot. When he gets that bigger cash flow, we taught him how to scale out his little team so that
Wow.
he doesn't have to do all the group coaching himself, even though it's group coaching and you're showing up one to, like, let's say 5 people or 10 people. It's still your time, right? So how do you leverage other people's time and other people's expertise to go and serve your people as well? And that's why some of our clients have gone to scale on to $200,000 months, with them still going on vacation, still having a life, still spending time with their kids,
Wow.
um, because of this model. So absolutely, our clients have come from. One of our clients teaches contortionism, handstands through Zoom. She did like $23,000 her first pitch, and then she now creates workshops, like in-person workshops, as well. We have a client that teaches no-code apps. A client that teaches in a different language. She teaches Norwegian ladies how to transition from the corporate world into the online space. We have Adam Gillett. He teaches men's empowerment, so he's all about, like, we are the brotherhood. And then we have Kim Seltzer. She did $80,000 her first launch, and she teaches women how to date online. She's an expert dating strategist. That's why she, like, her words, not mine. And we have Rochelle. Rochelle teaches photographers how to have a fully booked out calendar. So when COVID shut a lot of photographers down, she knew a way to keep the lights on for them. And she's like, well, I know this method, Kim. I just need more eyeballs. And I've never been a coach before. And I said, all right, well, let's try this. And the very first time she pitched into her group, she did $26,000 on a 4K offer, teaching photographers how to keep their lights on, how to continuously get booked out calls. So, we have Kate Sun. She's from Taiwan, which is, the currency is so different, but she did
Hmm.
$18,000 when she pitched. She teaches the Akasha records, how to get licensed with the Akasha records, which is, to me, like, not about business at all, or it's about your relationship with the universe and things like that. So
Yeah.
all that stuff, it's amazing. We have hundreds of clients testimonials by now, teaching anything underneath the sun.
That's
So
what I
yeah.
love is your passion around your clients, right? Like you just light up when you get to tell their story, which is awesome. To just have a system that's helping folks live their dream. And then though to have somebody who's created this program just so proud of, not what you did, right? We're not even talking about what you did. We talked a little bit about it in the beginning, but you're just excited that other people are winning, right? By using your system, it gives you a great sense of pride, and that's coming through in your excitement for them. It's awesome. It's just great to
Yeah, it's
watch.
you get to wake up. I get to wake up to every single day people thanking me and my clients thanking me
That's
for
so
changing their
awesome.
life. How it's hard to not have the energy and the excitement, when
Hmm.
that's what I get to wake up to. So, yeah.
And we talked about various industries. I mean, everything from contortionists to and people doing embroidery, which is like a lost art, right? Um, I mean, it's just
It's
like,
hilarious.
yeah. Screen printing's the new wave, right? And such. So I don't know, but you're crossing industries. So obviously, this will work for any industry, right? It's not like, oh, you have to be you know a self-help coach or something like that. You can cross any industries. What about like the Facebook groups? Like, I mean, I'm part of, like, I have a Toyota 4Runner. I'm part of a Toyota 4Runner group, right? I'm part of a bunch of other groups. Do the can if there's large groups, I mean, can folks take that and still kind of plug the system into an existing group?
Absolutely. If they have a large audience, this would be like no brainer whatsoever. Because I teach them how to sell from a one to many virtual
Mm,
stage. Essentially, that's what it is. Because they are there for one reason only. They sign up for your training or your masterclass or something that's free. And then they say yes to that, and the group fills up. You don't open up the group until the day before your training or your master class. Your training could be an hour long. It could be 30 minutes a day for 5 days, like a 5 day challenge, let's say. And we tell you exactly how to choreograph that so that by day two, you already have booked 40 to 50 calls into your high ticket offer. It's a very it's a well-oiled machine, the way that we have you the way that we teach it and the way that we have you consume the information so that you can get a lot of results in a short amount of time. So with if you have a large Facebook group, this is really no brainer. You're leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table. You know, our average size groups is 200 to 300 people. And
wow.
the average size ticket offer that gets pitched and converted to 3 to 5% conversion, which is 9 to 15 clients, is a $3,000 to $5,000 offer. So you're coming in and it's a small group. You're doing $45,000 to $65,000, just like on your very first go. And a lot of times, like Greg, he was very surprised. He's like, "Oh my god, I did $85,000, and this is my very first launch." I asked him what was his most surprising thing about this. He's like, "It's because it's my very first one." But that's not surprising for us. We've seen that time and time again. Like it doesn't take multiple trial and error. It's like your very first one. If you are devoted and if you are like really going
Yeah.
for it. But if you're like super lazy and relaxed, then I can't promise that. Like you have to be proud to be present for your tribe inside of your group. You can't be like, oh, all of my groups will never buy from me. No one will listen to me. Like, can't be a naysayer in this journey. But yeah, absolutely. To answer your question, if you have a
I
big
love it.
group, you're sitting on a pot of gold. That's what I call it. That's why my method is the gold method.
Yeah, yeah. What about folks that want to, right? We get a lot of folks that are like, oh, my side hustle, my side hustle. We had one guy who was like, yeah, I'm just trying to make like $200 a month. And I was like, just go DoorDash or something, right? Like $200 a month. If you can't find $200 a month doing some Lyft, Uber, DoorDash, Instacart nonsense, then, I don't really know how to help you, right? But we get a lot of people that are like, no, I want to build something, but I work 9 to 5, or I have crazy hours at work, which is why they're looking, right? They're like, I got to get out of this. This isn't sustainable. This work is insane. I'm not passionate about it anymore. Somebody help me, save me. Can something like this be built while folks are in their day to day career?
Absolutely. We have plenty of people coming from the 9 to 5 world. Sharon and Antonio, Sharon has a 9 to 5 full time job. And when they do their training, it's like after they come home from work. So they would go live and we tell them what to say when they go live to their Facebook group, because they have a captivated you have a captivated audience when you wait until there's like at least 200 people or a certain amount of people who join your group for one message, one training, and it's led by you. They're captivated and they're listening to you, so you have like at least 20 to 30 people listening to you live consistently. Doesn't matter what time of day it is, they will move their calendar for when you launch. So for the 9 to 5 people, we actually have them go and do their pitch after work. And so it works out really well. They did $23,000 the very first time that they pitched into their group, and they taught organic marketing. So it's not like crazy insane stuff. It's like, hey, this is how you message people, this is how you add a friend on Facebook, stuff like that. So, absolutely, if you are working a 9 to 5 and you want to quit it, this is the way. Now, another example that's pretty extreme is Lonnie. She works a 9 to 5 job that's really demanding and she hated her job. She was making $1 million a year as the co CEO of a hospital company. So she's a very highly intelligent woman, and
Sure.
she helps women how to be an entrepreneur. It's a very like broad, but she targets only women. And so she was doing $50,000 a month with her launches already when she met me. And she would do her launches outside of her work hours. She makes that time. And so when she met me, she's like, well, I really want to be able to make as much as my job because I've gotten accustomed to this life of nice, I have a nice car, I have a nice house. I don't want to downgrade my lifestyle, but I don't like my job. I want to quit it. And I said, okay, for you to quit, you need to make at least $100,000 a month. And she's like, yeah. So at 50,000, she jumped on one call with me. The very next time she launched, she did $72,000, and then the month after that, she did over 100,000. Now she's doing it very easily, like the back of her hand, and she travels. So she'll go from hotel to hotel, and when she does her launches, one time she took a picture of her laptop with a lamp in the back, like a hotel lamp. She's like, Kim, I had to. There's no good lighting, so I had to like move it right next to a lamp, and she took a picture of that. She's like, still over $100,000 launch. And I'm like, yeah, because that's what this is about. Like you could just like travel wherever. And so her offer is 10,000, and for her to do 100,000 is just enrolling 10 people in the world. When you think of Facebook having 2 billion active monthly users, and you think about like a Facebook group having, there's a Facebook group where there's 2.1 million people pretending to be ants in a Facebook group. So when you know that there are this type of like, you know, community that can be forged, and can be forged in like a few weeks, where everyone is there to listen to what you have to say, and then you say it in a way that connects with them, why wouldn't you have 5 to 10 people join you for to learn from you? What I always say is you
Yeah.
will always find your people. You will always find them. So yeah, absolutely. 9 to 5, no problem. And she did quit her job because of her earning that amount. And she told the whole room this at our Vegas event. She's like, I spent $500,000 on coaching, and Kim's program is the first program that actually let me quit my job. Like I put in my 2 weeks notice, and that was very empowering because her job pays her really well. I'm like, oh my gosh, but yeah, so.
I think, one of the myths that I always hear when people want to share their message, right? Become a coach, help others. They always think they have to write a book first. And they're
Oh yeah,
always
you don't have to
like,
write a book.
I have to write a book. And once I write my book, and writing a book, for those of you that haven't done it, right? That's not like a weekend project. You're like, oh, I'll just knock out a 250-page book and then I'll start my coaching and my business after that. Like a book, a good book that's actually going to trend and be a good bestseller, that's a 9 month to a year project. Easy. Um, do folks don't have to write a book, right? Please tell me folks don't have to write a book.
No, they don't even have to have any modules created. Nothing. Um, yeah, like Cecilia, she came into our program. She was thinking of doing like a $497 thing, teaching people how to run Facebook ads. And we're like, well, you're going to pitch group coaching. Group coaching, you just show up, and the videos, the content gets created as you are teaching. So she pitched an 8 week program, 3,000. She did $10,000 in her first 20 days in our program, just by the one to many pitching. She only got 3 clients in. That's it. And one client paid a payment plan. So she's like, I did $10,000, Kim. And I'm like, okay. And now you're going to deliver. So the difference is we focus on delivery, because delivery is what will have you have the energy to go and sustain this momentum and then build out an actual team. Because I want to work with people who want to scale out their company and not
Mm,
just like one hit wonder. Let me just get some quick cash from my people. No, it's I want to serve these people. I have a calling. I can't sit at my cubicle. There's no way I can go back to that life. It's like I have this calling in me, and I just need to have more eyeballs on me, and I need to figure out what is it I'm going to say. Or I know what to say, but then I'm attracting the people who are penny pinching with me. So this is a way for them to attract the more premium people so that they're lit up when they go and they serve their people, and then they can continue that journey as a multi-year journey with their people. So yeah, you definitely don't have to write a book. You don't even have to have modules created. Literally nothing, because the space between your two ears right now, your brain, if you've lived decades of your life, like you already know what to teach.
yeah. You know
If
something about something.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it. I,
Yeah.
I mean, I just love like for the listeners, I'm sure it's obvious, right? But what I'm enjoying is every time I ask him a question, she answers with a customer story, right? And she tells us just a really cool story about somebody who had great success. I love it. Have you ever? I mean, we talked about folks that are like lazy and they're like, Kim, can I just give you some money and then you give me more money back, and I don't want to do anything? Do you have any of those? Like, do you have the opposite to the success stories? Do you have some folks where it's just like, yeah, this didn't work, and this is kind of why?
We won't enroll you if that was the case. Like, we
Mm,
only enroll raving people. And the reason why that
I
works
love
is
that.
because we have a 5 day training to enroll you. And the 5 day training is a self selecting process. Like, the G is group. So you have to be sold on the vehicle. You have to be like, yeah, I want to monetize my group. And then part of the training is the O, high ticket offer. So they have to say yes to pitching high ticket. If they only want to stick with like a $7 product, then we're not going to enroll them. L is launch. They want to do a launch. They want to pitch into their group. And then D is for delivery. They want to have a multi-year journey with their clients. They want to be able to deliver in a way that makes them feel good. And, they craft out this life that they want to live so that they could spend time with their family. And so the GOLD method is my method. And it's a very much, hey, do you like the training? Great. Would you like to continue this journey for the next year of your life? How different would your year look like if you have us by your side, if you have this energy, if every single week you're working towards crafting this life where you get to show up anywhere in the world as long as you have a laptop, a camera, that you can forge financial abundance out of just the space between your brains. And so it's a very compelling type of offer, and it works. But people are standing up for it. They're not being coaxed into it. They're
Hmm.
saying, that's me. And a lot of the call to action when I do my training is like, is this you? Do you feel this way? And the people who don't feel that way, they like duck out. They're
Yeah,
like, peace out.
I love
you
it.
know?
And you're just as thankful, right? Like, I mean, that's that whole like find a program or find a coach that resonates with you, that gets you excited, that you're really interested in, that you're like, man, I want to go, with Kim and her group to Mexico, right? Or I want to go like where I want to be part of this and what's happening and the energy and the vibe. I've had a couple like Amazon FBA folks on, And one thing I told them that I mean seems very similar here, right? Is these folks are infectious. I mean, they're positive. I don't know that I've met a more positive kind of just happy person as Kim, right? I mean, for those of you not watching the video, Kim's all smiles, right? I mean, except where I'm going off script and kind of meandering, and she's like, "What the hell is this guy trying to say?"
Oh,
But
I
but
don't even
other
think that way. That's not how I think at all.
but just an amazing infectious kind of energy, right? That's so much better than the drudgery that people face trying to do this stuff themselves. I mean, I've seen people trying to start their businesses and they're like, "Oh, owning a business is so hard. It's so lonely. It's so." And I love what you said. Go find your tribe, right? Go find other people and go do something really, really cool together. And everything you said just seems like everyone should at least go take a look, right? Like, I love the 5 day kind of like, hey, am I a fit for you? Are you a fit for us? Can I help you? Before we, kind of take your money and you invest in us and we invest in you, there's this, like go figure it out process. And it's very cool. Like when I look at Kim's website, which is groupconvert.com, first, I love the fact that you're a cartoon on the website. So if you want to see Kim as a cartoon, which is very very cool, Kim as a cartoon is available in group. That's not the only thing the site offers, but it's very cool to see her as a cartoon. There's like cool ways to start. Maybe if we could just talk about the site a little bit and about
Yeah.
like like because it's reasonable to start and then you can grow, right? There's also all kinds of plans. Like how do you suggest folks engage with the site and get started?
Yeah, just you'll get on my email list if you go to groupconvert.com and just opt in, even if you don't buy anything. You just opt in. There's a little pop up that happens. And then you'll start getting emails from me about clients' journey, stories, a lot of stories. I like telling a lot of stories because I'm so proud. I'm so proud of my clients. Um, and what ends up happening is that at first you're going to start small. You're going to start creating your Facebook group, collecting emails from it using my tool. And then if you decide to want to lead a movement, if that is your calling, then
Mm-hmm.
we have a free 5 day training for you where you can decide on your own whether that's something that you want to do or not. And there is really, it's like no pressure. We have the best clients because they decide that it's about time. They're like, it's time for me. I've been kicking the weeds, or I've been doing these things, a launch here, a summit here, a webinar here with very little success. Now's the time for me to really like do it and do it in a way that will increase my impact and influence. And so we have that for you. And we have live events. So our next one is going to be in Tulum, Mexico. It's an 80-person event. And the one after that is going to be in November in San Diego, and there's 300 people, and it's going to be subscribers coming together with clients. And yeah, so like here's the thing I want to kind of communicate. Greg, I just interviewed him, he's like, Kim, you know what? It's not the tactics that you teach. The tactics are there, and software, ecom, because I come from the dismantling world, so it's a lot of ecom. And all these things, but you know what? Why I follow you and why I enroll with you is because you are a problem solver. The way that you think is the type of person I want to follow for the next years, and you share with us everything you learn very transparently. You're always like at a mastermind. Like I invested personally over $100,000 in the past 4 months just in my own education alone, and
Mm-hmm.
having my team have that benefit, but not just my team, but my people. And as I grow, I tell them like, this is what's working, this what's not working. Um, and so when you build your tribe, it's not about you're like this person and then you're telling them everything what to do and you're making money off of them. It's more like you're really solving all these problems for them, and they see you as this person they'll follow, not just for that one period, for that one tactic, for that one thing that you're teaching them, but you become someone that they want to continue following for the rest of their life, because as you grow, they know that you have them, that they have you by their side. And so it becomes this, whoa, I can continue this with you, wherever you go, I'll go. And so you get, people will follow you because of the way that you think, the way that you solve problems. And and so it becomes really strong in terms of building, in terms of having you as a brand, and building your
Hmm.
brand. So I don't know if that makes sense, like shifting from you are the leader of this group of people in a Facebook group, to people will follow you because of the way that you think differently. The person that you are, the heart
Hmm.
that you have. It's a very interesting thing he pointed out, and I just want to make sure I mention it
Well, no,
during this
it's
podcast.
very true. I mean, again, and it's finding the person that's right for you, right? Like some people will resonate with what Kim does, right? And then some people will be like, oh no, I think my passion's Amazon FBA. I'm super excited about selling widgets through Amazon or whatever, right? And they'll find somebody over there that they really like, right? It's
Yeah.
about finding what you're interested in. I always tell people when they're looking for side hustles, like does doing X, whatever the side hustle is, does it excite you? Are you personally interested in it? And they're like, well, I need to make money. No, forget money, right? Money will follow on a side hustle that you're passionate about. So is it creating a coaching program and leading folks? Is that what gets you going? Or is, moving widgets through Amazon what gets you going? Or is retail arbitrage what gets you going? Or is dismantling cars in warehouses and stuff? Is that what there's something for everybody. And the most important thing, though, is find somebody who's doing well in that industry and listen to them, and find that person within that industry. Once you narrow it down, then find somebody within that's at the top and listen to them. And sure, they're going to charge you a little bit for their time and their knowledge and their experience, right? But college isn't free either. You wind up paying for that. I mean, and people are just like, well, why do I have to pay for it? Well, because that's just the world we live in, right? That's like the economy. I can't help you with that. I just like it blows my mind. And they're like, I want all of Kim's knowledge and I want it for free. And it's just like, no, no, that's not how this works. Um, I had a comment, and I'm interested in your thoughts. A lot of people, when they go out to be an entrepreneur, they're like, I can't leave my 9 to 5 and go be an entrepreneur because I lose health insurance. And it was just so weird. It just came up 2 weeks ago, and I was like, that's what's holding you back? Like, you're afraid of health insurance? You realize you can buy health insurance anywhere, right? You can buy it through Obamacare if you need to, right? Like, so when you set out to be an entrepreneur, like, did that ever, like, were you like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get insurance for me and my family?
um I think that when I hear a question like that, I think about where it's coming from. And the real question or the real fear is that I have something secure that's tied directly to my health. So it's a very strong thing for companies to offer health insurance. It's a very good retaining method,
Mm-hmm.
um, because $1,000, $2,000 to a typical person, earning 4,000 a month, is a large part of their income. So when I think about that, I'm like, that makes sense. It's understandable. And in this entrepreneurial world, are you going to let $1,000 that month get in the way of having a life that you could live? Like having this beautiful life where $1,000 is like nothing. It's barely anything. Where dental care itself could be a 5,000, 2,000 to $5,000 cost for to fix a teeth. And are you going to, like let that stop you from
Mm-hmm.
a whole life.
Yeah.
It's saying yes to this secure blanket that the what if one day something happens, and then saying no to this entire life. So that's how I think about it. So
I love it. I
I
love it.
I don't even factor that in. I'm like, and I also go rock climbing, so I'm always um,
Wow.
I'm consistently close to my feeling of mortality, and I don't think a lot of people um, like put themselves in a position where they feel like they can die on a week to week basis. Everything is really comfortable. You know the foods that you like, you know the chair that you love, you know what your room
Mm-hmm.
looks like. So there's a lot of comfortability and familiarity, and I purposely put myself in positions where I'm not like my life isn't in danger. I feel very safe, but at the same time, if I fall, I'm falling like 20 feet, I'm falling 10 feet, and it's this is this kind of like threat to my existence. So the closer I feel to my mortality, the easier it is for me to take bigger risks, which is what entrepreneurship is about. It's about taking bigger risks to get bigger rewards. Otherwise, just stay safe.
I
you
know.
know.
I love
So
it.
yeah.
Well, and thanks, I love your perspective on that, right? And for those listening, that was totally off script, right? But it's great to talk to the entrepreneurs because a lot of you are giving me feedback like, oh, all these entrepreneurs are great, but I'm so afraid, right? And then the healthcare one just came up. But so thank you for sharing your kind of thoughts on that. I want to talk about the award because, in mentioning it in the intro, people are like, what? They're probably like, what is this Two Comma Club award? Which, not everybody has it. Everybody has their little YouTube, I've gotten to 2,000 subscribers and all these like awards that they like. But this one's different. Talk to us a little bit about the Two Comma Club award. What is it? And why is it a sense of pride for you?
Yeah, it's making over $1 million with one website, one funnel, one landing page. And that's a sense of pride because, it's one thing to say numbers of followers. Just like a lot of my clients, they don't have crazy amount of followers, but they can have a little small 200, 300 Facebook group that they're, creating this financial abundance and freedom from. So for me, being recognized for the actual revenue that is generated, even if it's one website, it's a sense of pride because it's recognizing that you. It also solidifies to some of my clients' mind that I'm legit, and it's really cool that a software company like ClickFunnels allows us to be recognized for the money that the income that we make on the back end, and it's not tied to X amount of followers we have or anything like that. So I think that's why I mentioned that. And it's something that is easy for them to just Google. Google Two Comma Club Award, which is in $1 million. There's two commas. The existence of that.
I love it. It's almost like when we used to go to websites, we'd like look for like, oh, is this approved by all these agencies before we put in our payment information, right? We'd be like, oh, is this high trust? Is it all these like independent agencies that say, yeah, this is a safe site for you to put some money into? When you look at people that are throwing all these numbers out and talking a game to be rated by an independent company that evaluates these sites and to put a stamp of approval on it and say, yep, Kim's actually achieved this. Um, that's huge, right? Because I could spin up a website today and say, yeah, I've made over $10 million off this website, which is complete BS. You'd have no way to really know. To have a third party go, nope, she's actually done it, is very cool. So congrats on that award. Being somebody in the tech space, I think it's very cool. So I geek out over it a little bit. It's cool to be talking to somebody who's done that. It just adds a legitimacy to all the things that you've covered in this podcast. It's very cool. So the other cool thing, besides Kim being a comic out on her website, is all the testimonials. So definitely scroll towards the bottom. There's just video after video of testimonial and people that are excited. I love this one comment by Anna Marie. I'm going to butcher her last name, Panate. And it says, "Today my life became easier." I mean, that's just so cool, right? Like 2 minutes to install. Today, my life became easier. She spent 2 minutes installing something, and her life became easier, right? That's what this is all about. People getting their time back and being able to redirect it and spend time with your family and do things that are meaningful. I had a guest on the other day, and he said it's not work life balance; it's life work balance, right? Focus on the life that you want to live and stop being stuck in this I just work and work defines me and work is who I am. Knock that off, right? And pay attention. Kim's writing it down. I'm worried.
Yeah,
Um,
whenever I hear something good, I write this shit down.
I love it. You picked up the pen a couple times, so I love that. I just want to thank you. You know, it's you have such a cool story of coming, on your own and realizing like, hey, I think I got something here, and then developing it and then sharing it to allow others to follow in your footsteps and get your counsel and your coaching. It's very cool. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for spending time. This is possibly one of the longer podcasts that we have, but I'm kind of like riding on the Kim infectious energy train right now, and I just appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule. There's so many millions of other things you could have been doing. Thank you for taking the time and hanging out with our humble podcast.
Oh, I love the way you interview. You're like really experienced. I can
Thank
tell.
you.
I've
Thank
jumped
you.
on a lot of podcasts. I'm like, damn, you know how to do this. So it's been
Cool.
a very enjoyable experience. Thanks
That's
for having
awesome.
me.
Yeah, I am glad to hear it. And we might have Kim back because who knows what else she's going to go off and do. It's very cool.
Oh, I acquire tech companies, so I always have stories to tell. It's all
There we go. I love that. That's a whole another episode. Kim's acquiring and dismantling of tech companies.
Well, Michael, for the past 3 years, I've been teaching people how to make monthly passive reoccurring income with their little tiny simple software that I have,
Mm-hmm.
So I have been helping that. And then I roll it into this group coaching, group convert program here where it's not a get clients journey. It's how do you build a monthly reoccurring income backbone to
Right.
your bigger high ticket pitches so that if next month you don't want to pitch anything, 10K, 15K, you will still make that monthly reoccurring income by having a real solution that sits online that can be downloaded in a few minutes or seconds and that people will use and love you for it. So there's another story to this. If you want to bring me back, happy to come back and
That's
we
awesome.
can dive into
There we
that.
go. Kim part two. So again, her website and everything, the way they get a hold of her will be down below. It's through groupconvert.com. Really cool site. Go see Kim as a cartoon. And again, thanks Kim for hanging out with us.
All right. Thank you, Michael.